Well, my mum's friend is a lawyer. I've known her since I was born, and I've always been interested in law. So when she said that her company does work experience, I was very open to that, and I thought that I'd want to go into law when I'm older. So I thought that's a good opportunity for me.
Well, my mother is Dutch, and my family live in Holland, near Amsterdam, and my auntie offered me if I wanted to work there. She's an events manager and she works around radio stations and everything basically, and she offered me the job and it was hard to say no.
Well, I have a really big passion for classic cars and anything engineering. So my dad works at a place called Cheshire Classic Cars, and they have a workshop there where they help restore Lamborghinis, Ferraris, etc. So I went there for a week just to try and see what I could do.
I was reading through different cases and different statements that were ongoing at the moment.
So I detailed the underside of a Lotus Elan, and then the rest of the few days I sorted a Lamborghini engine out by attaching clutch plates and the wheel axles and painting it and sanding it and attaching. So
I was directed to basically follow around some engines as they were going along the line and learn how they worked, learn what processes need to be done to them, and basically the Bentley company as a whole.
I did a variety of things. Some I didn't expect to do. For example, I did sort the books and redid some of the labels that had faded, but I also got to help out with some things they run.
I really liked how chilled it was, really. It was quite nice because it was kind of a small office. There weren't that many people.
For me, it was definitely the kids because it was a mixed school, so it was a different environment, and some of them were really funny and quite crazy, so it was interesting just different atmospheres in the school.
I liked the fitness testing because it was a good insight about what some of the firefighters have to do to get into the job industry.
The camaraderie of everyone there, because we took everything seriously, but it was all a bit of a laugh. Like someone would do something, we'd all make a joke, or it was just a really great atmosphere to work in.
Paperwork. There was a lot of paperwork, piles and piles of it, but apart from that I really did enjoy it, yeah.
Initially it was hard because it was hard and weird being in a staff room as opposed to being out in the yard with your mates and stuff. But I found that also good because it was good to see the teacher's perspective in a school, so I found it interesting.
A lot of the activities like the rat run, which was when we had to crawl through a small enclosed space.
I'm not the strongest person in the world, and some of those bolts need tightening really hard, and I'm not that, I can't do that, so I had to have extensions on ratchets and things so I could pull them as tight as possible.
I loved working with receptions doing their pattern sheets, but you had to have a lot of patience.
Yeah.
Do something you actually thinking about doing when you're older or want to go into a career in. Don't do it because it's easy, because it looks good on your CV as well, what you choose to do. So make sure you have a real long think about what you want to do and why do you want to do it.
Go for something that you enjoy doing. I know some people went for something because they went last minute, but they didn't really enjoy what they were doing, they got a bit bored. But I really enjoyed what I was doing because I wanted to do that, especially in the future. So yeah, probably just go with something that you'd really want to do in the future.
You just go with what you want to be, and if they say no, obviously they say no, but try and find another place to do with what you want to be. So
I'd suggest that you look for something you think you're going to really enjoy, and something you're going to take a lot away from, and something that's maybe relevant to what you'd like to maybe do in the future, or you think is going to give you an experience completely different to the experiences you have within school.
Try and find somewhere as early as possible, so as soon as you get the letter from school, go and find somewhere if you've got your heart set on a particular place so you don't miss out.
I feel a lot more confident now because obviously when I was in that environment I couldn't really just depend on the people that I knew. I had to reach out and talk to others. So
I think that I've grown in confidence when I'm working with people in a team.
I've always wanted to do teaching, but it's really almost cemented what I really want to be a teacher now.
At first I thought it was going to be quite a drag, really, that you'd have to just do long hours and you wouldn't get much for lunch and it would be a pain. But I really enjoyed it.
Now thinking about it, it's such a good opportunity and it's so good to have on your CV, and it's so good to actually be there experiencing real life as such. So I think it does really help you in a lot of decisions you make in the future as well.
I was looking forward to it, but I was a bit like it was going to be quite boring and like a normal job, but now I've done it, I'm so glad I did it, and it's just changed everything about what I think work is actually like.
On the first day I was really nervous, but then after I'd been there an hour and had the tour and knew where everything was, I was so confident it felt like school.
I've gained a lot of people skills and I've been able to learn how to do things quickly and on a time-based schedule.
I can be a good team member and contribute to different things in the group, as well as like giving key ideas to the group as well.
I think definitely altering my frame of mind and being more flexible towards people's abilities.
More of an ability to communicate with other people and meet new people and be able to adjust differently to situations.
I think I've learned how to speak to members of the public, so when they've asked me for things, I would never be rude, but I've learned the correct way to say, oh yes, I'll find that out for you and things like that.